All right, there, you toxic and dubious people. Not really. Amazing people. Not really. No, you're great. Yeah, sorry about the lack of videos. Fuck you, I'm sick. This has broken me. It's beaten me. I'm beat. I've become a beatnik. That's what I'm saying. Was gonna go with the no glasses after a few quite flirtatious comments by ladies, people who identify as ladies, sorry I should say. But no, the light's too bright. My pupils like fucking plates. Right, listen. So I'm going to tell you some whoring stories. Not on the receiving end. Maybe that's for another video. Ooh. But first of all, I want to show you a little video, and I'm sort of going to try and live drop this in. There's an English prisoner. Well, he's not. He's long gone. But there was a bloke called Paul Sykes. One of my mates was banged up with him, and he told me a bit about him, so I checked him out online, and there's this amazing documentary. It's called Britain's Hardest Prisoner. And I'm not sure about that, but certainly one of the most interesting. Paul Sykes. I'll put the link to the description. Oh, I told you I'm a beatnik. I'll put the link to the documentary in the description. But I'm going to just show you a little bit here, right? This is when he's been let out of prison. He's been in prison most of his life. This is one of the times when he was out. Check him out. Here we go. Let me see if I can sort this out. It's going to be a bit sketchy. Was that right? Did I do it right? Hang on. Has it ruined the illusion? It's not a real telly. I'm not even real. I got no pants on, by the way. I've just put this. You can tell that I just threw it on. Oh yeah, I thought it would make sense for the horror stories. Anyway, look, fuck. Let's get this. It's been a long week. Jesus. Here we go. Bang. Right, check it out. Paul Sykes in his garden in Wakefield, which is up in near Leeds. Check him out. That's not him. That's his missus. But it's going to cut. And cut.
I'm a wonderful citizen. How do you think I've got this house and where I'm living now if I wasn't? They've given me this council. We've got the best. This is the best little city on earth. How do I know? I've been everywhere else. I'm here now, right on the family patch. Yeah, I know where it is. I've been. Nobody can tell me anything. I don't read Daily Mirror and son. I go and have a look. And I've lived in the forests of North America, I've lived in the outback of the Ivory Coast, I've lived in India and Russia. I had my breakfast in Moscow, my tea in Wood Street, Nick. Yeah, I've been about a bit. I'm the only man in the history of mankind that has swum across the Straits of Johor. I had to avoid a police launch. It was either that or Changi, Nick. They've got me passport in Singapore. Yeah, I swam it. Yeah, nobody's ever done it before, not because of the currents or anything like that, nothing like that. It's sharks. It's not shark infested, but none of the locals go paddling. Yeah, I swum it. I know about sharks, yeah. I'm 6'3" and 16 stone, 200 weight, yeah, I'm swimming. These pumps were hanging around my neck when I done it, yeah. I thought, well, Jaws, how the conditioner, I know how the condition people, yeah, Jaws, boom, 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 yeah. They're just flying about. You've got an hard job work. Your sharks will have a look at me and think, yeah, I know how to do it. You punch them right in the fucking ear hole and they swim off.
Paul Sykes, Britain's hardest prisoner. I've met a lot of hard men in my time, and most of them are dull as fuck. Very hard, but kind of dull, reserved, quite scared, really. But I have met a few of those proper lunatics like Paul Sykes who just... There was this one fella, I won't say his name. I spent a few nights with him. That sounds well dodgy. I spent a few... Well, weirdly, the last one, we did share a double bed. He'd been in prison most of his life. He was... Whatever, when he used to talk to, when he threatened you, or whenever he said anything, it'd just go, in it. In it, and bare his teeth. You'd be like, yeah. I realised when I was thinking about him that I can't actually tell you anything that he done because it's hideous. and will probably get me killed. Anyway, whoring, everyone's favourite pastime. I'm doing it, your husband's doing it, your father, your brothers, and perhaps you. I mean, it's weird. Sometimes there's so many prostitutes working globally. It's such a busy trade. And I've never kept it a secret. I've seen thousands of whores in England and abroad, in 1, 2, 3, in South America, in Southeast Asia. Oh yeah, Europe, Southern Europe. A global passion. It's a global passion for me. It's a way of seeing the world through the sweat and pity stench of thousands of dirty little rooms. It's a weird one. I've spoken about it in interviews on the television too, and I get so much grief for it. Such weird people. Like, ooh. Some people think that when you see a sex worker, you're meant to say sex work, which is why I like to say whores. I don't want to be told what to say to describe things in my own life. Thanks, but no. That's fucked me up. See, I told you I'm still struggling. I'm still quite cold, but if I put too many clothes on, I sweat. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, some people, they seem to think that you go into a room and there's a woman on her back that you sort of bang. Now, unfortunately, it's not like that. There's an exceptionally human element there, because there's a level of honesty that appears little elsewhere in existence. When you're standing in front of a whore that you don't know, the first thing she knows is you want to have a fuck, and that's it. That's essentially masculine thing. And you felt like that since you were about, what, I don't know, about 10 years old. Every day, all day, you've just wanted to have a fuck with nothing else going on. Because, see, the history of humanity, let's imagine it's 1 meter long, all right? For 99.9 centimeters of that, men just fucked because they knew nothing better. And then in the last little fraction of a centimetre of the line of humanity, someone invented the death that is monogamy. And that's death to men. I'm so serious about that, but I know how it comes across. But it's over. It's over. Suddenly, all that selective breeding has led to you doing the exact opposite all of a sudden to what you actually want to do. Now, of course, it's going to take more than a few hundred years to breed it out of us. So to stand in front of a sex worker, literally, I just want to fuck. Nothing else. And they know that. And there's it's quite handy. It's so relaxing. It calms me right down. They give you this look as if to go, I don't know you, but I know what you want. And you're like, yeah, it's all right, isn't it? But then there's more. You need to start having a conversation. No one is the sociopath from, as they like to depict it in town, where they just walk in there and go, get down, bitch. No one does that, because men aren't arseholes. Even those devious ones that see prostitutes, they're not actually arseholes. How are you? What's your name? How's business? Anything. I've ended up just chatting to them for most of my time, but managed to sneak a bit of action in at the end. Anyway, whoring. If you don't like it, if you think that it's more than a specific example of a general problem, which it isn't, maybe don't watch this video, because it's just whore stories. You know what? The Cambodian whores, I've met a lot of them. And they tell me some dark stories about feminist groups coming from Europe and America to save them, and getting them sewing sequins all day long in a sweat lodge, yeah, for about $10 a day. Not the $1,000 they earn as whores. And the problem with some of these organisations is, and this comes from the girls, they make them sign up, and it's like it's to do with governments and all this shit, and it's like an official program sorted out by Eurofems. And so when they, after the first 2 hours in their shitty new slave labour job, they run away. But they filled in this form, even though some of them can't write, someone done it for them. And then the government come after them because they've now broken the law and they're forced back into slavery. Thanks, feminism. When I talk to the Thai sex workers, I know a lot of them well. I've known them years, like nearly a decade. And they talk about that work. They say they have met people from all around the world. They've travelled globally. See, these women, Thai sex workers, they're not just there to work as sex workers. They want to marry someone. They want a rich European or American, Australian to take them away and to send money back home to look after their families. That's the end game. You know, I've so many of these girls I've known, like a year, 2 years later, they've gone to catch up with them on Facebook. They're like, oh yeah, no, I live in Denmark. It's fucking wicked. You know, it's weird. It's weird, the negative shit I hear. I had a big argument on Facebook with this American-Canadian comedian. She doesn't gender it, but I have. She's a comedian, that's all right. And, you know, she told me, she was all, I was like proper withdrawing, like shit in the bed while I was having this row with her, just like, oh, fuck, for fuck's sake. And she kept going, yeah, I'm glad I'm ruining your holiday. Your holiday? You ain't even coming close to ruining it. It's the most fun I've had since I've been here. And then she misrepresented me on her podcast. Of course, after the end of about 300 messages, I said, look, you can come on my YouTube channel or I'll come on your podcast and we'll discuss this. She said, all right then. I said, sweet, I'm back in 4 weeks. And then she said, nah, bottled it, unfriended me. What a surprise. Can you imagine? She told me in her brags that she headlined in 40 countries. And I was just going to open with that. So, Dana Alexander, headliner in 40 countries. Tell me about your oppression. Fucking hell. Anyway, she doesn't quite make it into the horror stories bracket, although I'll never know. I'll never find out. She won't let me talk to her in public. Might look stupid. Yeah, then here's some horror stories. We got there in the end, man, chatting. So once it was when I was clean the first time round. It was about 8 years ago. And I was waiting to go to an NA meeting and I was feeling all spiritual. I thought, I'll go and have a massage. And I know all of the Chinese massage places around here and all the girls. I've taken a few out to dinner. Amazing friendships. Honestly, some of them. This is like 8 years ago. I see her just the other day. Lovely. Anyway. So I thought I'm gonna go a little bit off-piste. I thought it's time to venture out. And I got as far as Covent Garden, which is about 200 yards over there. But for me, that's fucking visa territory. I need to have jabs to get that far out of Soho. It's not good for me. So, because I thought, I'll have the mystery, I'll have the mystique. Because something about the Chinese brothels is you don't really get to choose if you don't know the shop. Well, like, how could you? They don't sit outside like they do in Thailand. They're all hidden. They're in little dark rooms, really, suffering from a lack of light. And so you just have the receptionist, who is always the hottest woman in the building. She's like an Oriental dream with all like sticks in her. Seriously, they absolutely milk it. And then you go, hello, I'd like an hour's massage, please. And she said, okay. She took my money, and this woman come out, and she was about 55, maybe. I was only like 37 at the time, and I was like, But, you know, being a man who just needs to have some sort of sex, you can style anything. You can style anything. Any man will style anything. Patrice O'Neill does this lovely bit. Well, he doesn't now because he's dead. But, well, you know, video. I mean, can a comedian die in the video age? It's hard. He says, he tells this brilliant joke about what's the difference between men and women sexually or something like that. I certainly haven't done the build-up justice. And he says, you put Brad Pitt in front of someone's wife, and say, what do you think? She'll say, oh, he's lovely. Oh, look at, isn't he lovely? And they'd be like, oh, is that it? She'll be like, yeah, you know, I'm married and I'm not really interested. Whereas you can get a bloke and you can say, see that woman on the floor over there behind the bins? He's going to be like, yeah, I want to fuck her. And then, hey, I didn't tell it well. Made me laugh anyway. Fucked some girls behind bins. That's another story for another day. Stopped, actually. The first bin sex I had, I stopped when she said, oh, I can't wait for you to take my virginity. I was like, what, me behind some bins? I think you can make a better decision. Anyway, right, so she comes out, she's 55, and I'm just thinking, and I don't want to be nasty to her, and like I say, I know I can start it, but I get a little bit, I sort of think, hang on, we've got to do better than this. So then I say, actually, can I have 2 girls? They call it a 4-hand massage, for obvious reasons. And I thought, you know what, if the one that comes out, the second one, is hot, that'll kind of balance it out a bit. I think that's fair enough, isn't it? 1 hot, 1 not. That's like 2 average girls. Does it work like that? Well, it was kind of working like that. So I said, can I have 4 hands? They went, yes, I'll give her the money. And lo and behold, a very attractive sort of 30-year-old woman came out. And I was like, oh, this is lovely. So I used the few words of Mandarin I can speak. Hi, how are you? Yeah, you're very beautiful. It's bullshit. Every lonely, gnarled up, broken old man walking around Patong can say, hello, you're beautiful, how much in Thai? It's a disgrace. So we go in the room and they give me a 4-handed massage, and it's pretty good. The Chinese massage is awesome. It's like it's got a feeling of the entirety of Chinese gold, but you're like, oh, and then of course they start getting a bit busy. They, you know, and if you respond positively, if you're like, exactly like that. If ever you're there for the first time, just go. If you respond positively, they do more. They start massaging your balls, and you're just going. And you don't know what the hell's going on. Life is strange, and why you're there, because it's sort of nearly sexy, but you're a bloke. I don't need all that sensuous stuff. It's just a pump. It's a pump it. Anyway, at some point when they realise I'm suitably aroused because I haven't gone, could you get your hands off my fucking balls? You got 2 options, haven't you? Tell them to fuck off, or you want more. That's it. That's how it works. And then they say turn over, so you turn over and it's embarrassing because you've got a boner, which is a weird thing. It's all right when it's working, it's something to be proud of, but just swinging about sort of full of blood, it's just a bit, I don't know, I'm not used to seeing it myself, love. Anyway, so there's no offer of full sex. Very rarely in the Chinese massage shops do you get that, probably about 20%. And they're just working on it, the pair of them, and it's fucking awesome. And I'm just sort of going, oh, like a little boy. It's terrible, really. It's so Freudian. Oh. And then they start talking. They don't give a shit. They're just talking. They're chatting on the job. Like, one of them is sort of, I don't need to tell you what their hands are doing, but you know. And they're just sort of chatting. Don't need to go. And everyone's like, don't do it. Done this there. And I'm noticing it escalate, and the older one's really sort of getting her as if she's done something wrong. I know it's not related to me. I mean, they're just this is nothing. This is just manual labour, and I'm sort of watching them having this argument. Now, I don't know enough Mandarin to know what they were talking about, But to do myself a favour, I imagined that they were arguing about who was going to get to who was going to get my spunk all over their face. So suddenly, when the old one went, in my head, she said, no, I must have the master's sperm. And then when the younger one was like, no, Jesus, why this is her? I was like, no, mummy, let me have it. And of course, etc., until boom. And they kind of stopped arguing when the fountain of pure love sprayeth forth and milk the world with kindness. Of course, when that happened, they kind of calmed themselves down. So maybe they were arguing. And in many ways, like a parable, if they were arguing, look how the argument meant neither of them got the sperm. They got a little bit, but no one got it as like the full petty more gift that a histrious symbolist paintings would suggest. So that was quite an odd one. Another one, Chinese one. This was up on Charing Cross Road. There's not many, so you might be able to find it. There's a big one. It's like a whore shopping centre. I've gone in, never seen her before. Very hot. It's very hot. Sort of not too hot, really. I haven't seen many. Yeah. She's giving me a massage and blah, nah, 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 and she starts doing all the, oh, I wonder if he wants extras, and I just responded in the right way. I assume that's what everyone does. I just lay there for another 10 minutes going, And so she's turned me over, and just got to work. And this isn't like a girlfriend one off the wrist. It's fucking incredible. Magic hands. I'm talking magic hands. And this is most of the Chinese places. They're not tossing you off. It's just like all this sort of, and they sort of do this, and then like a hook under, and then there's this sort of thumb thing, and then when you're about, they stop. They just stop, and you're, and they just calm you down a bit, and then they start again. This goes on for some wonderful amount of time. Anyway, she's doing all that, and I'm, then she just sort of bang stopped. Now, there wasn't even this long a pause, but she stopped, right? So she's just holding it. And then from nowhere, unrequested, unoffered, just didn't exist until it happened, out of nowhere, she shoves what I think was 2 fingers all the way up my arse. Right? And now I've never had a prostate massage before. Didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like a medical thing. I've researched it since, and it can be a medical thing. But I've just felt this, like it was like being shot. And shit. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, again, just pure jewels of eternal goodness spraying unto the masses. But without her doing anything with the with the strumming hand, but literally just in. It's like Niagara Falls, like a tsunami. Incredible just to watch something, watch something anew at such an old age, and to do with your body. I was like, shit. You know what? I had a mate. He's dead now. He had a liver transplant, and then it didn't work, and he died. Hilarious bloke. When he knew he didn't have long for the world, he said to me, he said, "Can you tell me where to go to get a sexual service?" He said, I haven't got the strength to fuck. But he said, anything else? I said, yeah. I sent him to her, and I said to him, tell her you're Chris's friend. And I took him there, and he's gone in. Welsh he was, and he come out an hour later looking even a bit more peaky than his new death life had made him. And he went to me, "I've waited all my life for that." Do you understand the seriousness and depth of profound significance this stuff has to men? He was about 50. I've waited all my life for that. Actually said it, didn't laugh, he was just blown away. He's waited all his life to have an unknown Chinese woman stick her fingers up his ass. Blokes rule. Alright, so anyway, so that was it, just a random shagging. I'll tell you a good one in Thailand. I'm a bit like I'm a sucker for a pretty face or sex at any moment. So walking through Patong to the beach, you'll read all about this stuff in my novel. But walking from my regular hotel to the beach in Patong means going past about 100 brothels, and they all sit outside in Thailand. Now during the day, it's not so bad because they wear sarongs and t-shirts. I mean, the rest from the neck up and the ankles down, they're still blatantly sex workers. They got false eyelashes. They painted different faces on their heads. It's lovely actually knowing the madam of a couple of brothels. I sit in there from early, just chatting to her, watching these sort of females come in. Sit there for hours. They're doing all their bit and helping each other, doing all their hair and that. And suddenly these sort of women and girls, they're not females anymore. There's something more humanly cultural about them. And then they just all go and sit outside, but with their sarongs and t-shirts. At night, the night whores are a very different breed. This is Miami Vice now. This is like sequin boob tubes and like denim shorts the size of G-string knickers. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so getting down there is difficult. It's difficult for a single man in Patong full of gin and Xanax. And I'm walking down there one day, and she looked like Megan Fox, a bit bronzer, covered in Buddhist tattoos. And I'm like a fly in a bug light. She's got me in her tractor beams. It's all her now. It's weird, isn't it? What did I think French pop philosopher Jean Baudrillard said something weird about seduction when he said that, you know, a man goes up to a woman, predominantly in Western culture or globally, history of humanity, a man will approach a woman most of the time, especially anyway, and then he's going to attempt to seduce her somehow, but weirdly she's already seduced him effortlessly. She just gave him a smile and he was like, shit. So he's not actually the seducer here. The seduction's been done. He's just got to play his cards as best he can, and good luck to him. So I'm walking down to the beach, and she's already seduced me. The bitch. She had like these sort of black Ray-Bans on, you know, the ones with a little silver bit here, definitely genuine, and not much else really, like just a bikini and sort of really massive false tits that were never going to drop. When that bra come off, they were probably going to go up a bit. I was a bit drunk, and I just sort of was, I don't know, man. She had her legs crossed and she had these crazy bronze pins. They just looked like they were made out of caramel. Anyway, so I'm done. We go in. I lay down. I get this massage. Not so good. Those night whores, they're not there for the massage. I'm a greedy cunt. I'm like, no, go on, come on, do it properly. This ain't on. And they don't, you know. You're meant to get an hour massage and you'll get 15 minutes. And then they just go, what do you want? So she's turned me over and she just went, what do you want? And I went, what have you got? And she went, I do everything. And I was like, all right. And I thought, you know what? I'll just have a wank. I'm just gonna lay back. She took her glasses off. Her eyes were like that. I shit you not. She was like, okay, what you... I was a bit... I felt a bit lied to. I felt like the advertising was at fault. Fucking sunglasses. I bet she had them on all day and all night. Okay, it was really bonky though. Like one was like right proper on the inside. Like it looked like a whole world had slammed into the side of her face and just sent her right inward. And the other one was a bit overactive. I don't know if they really compensate for each other, but it was kind of busy. Like one of those. I don't know, man. And I started to struggle a little bit with that. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, men can style anything. Men can style anything. I'll find a way of using her bonky eye to my sexual advantage, because that's how we survived as a species. I mean, you know, come on. It weren't Megan Fox crawling around on her hands and knees. It weren't Megan Fox that came out of the chemical swamp. There was a time when you had to have sex with horrific partners just so we could be here today. So what was really bothering me was I felt like she'd done me up a bit with the glasses. I felt a bit like, you know, is it the Long Good Friday? At the end of it, Bob Hoskins is in the back of a taxi, and the IRA had got him because he thought he could take him on, and he's sort of looking about and he's thinking about everything he's done and he looks gutted. Well, it was kind of like that. I was sort of going, damn, man. And then I started thinking, and these things aren't that bad, but you don't want any of this. It was meant to be a very sexy situation. You don't start having to ponder quandaries. And I started thinking that all the other girls she was sitting with downstairs, they will have known how it works. And there was something a little bit hideous about having to walk past them with my petit more still stirring in my pants. And it weren't really like the Long Good Friday. I'm not saying that. It was like a sort of 10 minutes on a Thursday night. But I faked my orgasm. I reckon that's quite rare. I reckon that's quite rare for men to do that. I mean, it was quite dark in there. She'd obviously attempted to darken her appearance, but we adjusted. The eyes adjusted. Well, mine did. Yeah, halfway through while she was wanking me, I just faked it, and I thought this doesn't even have to be convincing. It's just a sign, isn't it? This is just me saying, yeah, I'm done. And it was weird. I just went and sort of grabbed her wrist as if to go, oh, no more. And then sort of sat up and went, thanks. And when I got my clothes on and walked outside, they were all laughing at me. 100%. One of them, like, with a grin, she went, how was it? I was like, it was wicked. Thank you. Thanks. Alright. Is there any more worth telling you? Funny ones. I mean, it doesn't usually lend itself to too much humour, in fairness, but I thought there was more than that. What's that? Up the bum, 2 of those. Don't know what 2 of those meant. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is long anyway. Shit, man, I've been talking for 34 minutes. See you later.